Let's talk about the news. This is the big story. From NBC5, DFW, Texas House. Texas House votes to track down Democrats. Arrest them when they return to Texas. House Democrats can't be arrested until they return to the state, the governor says. So this is the update, because initially, Governor Greg Abbott was like, we will arrest them. Mark my words. Now the Texas House was like, all in favor of arresting them? And they're like, yes, the Democrats are going to get arrested. Here's a funny thing about all this. It's a filibuster, basically. Apparently, Texas has already passed the bill anyway, the voter bills. The media is trying to make it seem like Republicans are trying to strip away the rights of regular people. The Republicans have no real counter to this because the mainstream media lies all the time and conservative media doesn't. Oh, I can already hear the collective screams of all the leftists who are hate watching this show, claiming that all conservative media does is lie. Yeah, then why isn't Tucker Carlson coming out saying Republicans are trying to pass voter protection bills to protect the rights of marginalized people? But the left thinks that they should take those rights away. No, he doesn't do that. The right never does that. And that's one of the reasons the left keeps taking, because they keep putting pressure. They keep doing these propaganda campaigns. Well, at the very least, Republicans say they'll arrest these Democrats who are, what are they? They're fugitives?
Yeah, apparently now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess they're going to get arrested, right?
Does this mean that they're officially arrested? Like, does this or not? I mean, does this mean, like, do they have to, like, vote on this declaration that they're going to arrest them, or is this?
They did vote on it. They voted.
So are they on the lam now?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, that was why Gene, what's his name, was tweeting about his first meal as
Delicious.
a fugitive. Oh, it's a Caesar salad. Oh, my gosh.
And you get Kamala Harris, and you get the national level Democrats and all of their cronies in media who love licking their feet, saying, like, these are heroes helping protect the rights of people. Let me explain something very, very simple to everybody. What the Republicans are doing actually is to protect the rights of people who want to vote. What the Democrats are doing are purposefully damaging voter integrity, which confuses and mucks up the system and makes it very difficult for people's votes to be counted properly, for the system to work properly. There's no chain of custody on some of these votes. They have curbside voting, universal mail-in voting, 24-hour voting. Not only that, it's really expensive. You got to maintain staffing for these things and security for these things. So what the Republicans are doing is they're trying to pull back only a little bit of those special provisions, which effectively means the Republicans are still losing no matter what. Mm-hmm. This is the power of the Democratic Party. They win no matter what happens. If they don't get what they're asking for right now, the Republicans only curtail a little bit of the advanced voting stuff the Democrats got. And if the Republicans back down, the Democrats get indefinite COVID special voting access. So I don't know. There are people who are surprised I'm not a fan of the Republican Party at this point. Granted, it's Texas.
My mind consistently goes to the military-industrial complex, the liberal economic order developed in 1946. It's basically the party of the warmonger. I mean, I thought of those neocons growing up in the early 2000s, and now it's just accepting that this group like Bill Kristol and, like, I don't know, Dick Cheney's not really involved with the Democratic Party.
The Lincoln Project.
Is that what it is?
No, just like those creepy weirdos.
Friends with Raytheon, and now they got their tentacles inside the brains of the DNC.
I mean, they always did.
Did they?
Yeah, so it's funny when people talk about what the Democrats are doing, and I'm like, yo, the Democrats and the Republicans are doing all of that forever. The only thing that changed was that Donald Trump ran full speed and slammed his body into the front doors and broke them down. And then with Trump throwing himself at the doors and getting in, people believe the Republican Party somehow, like, was better. They're not.
I just saw an article that said that the DNC is proposing that they're going to go through people's text messages to look for COVID misinformation.
I mean, that's
absolute disgusting overreach of power.
Oh, that's beyond
authority.
this. This is it. The Democrats are like communist authoritarians at this point.
It's disgusting.
But do you really believe they haven't been doing that this whole time?
Good point.
They're just announcing it now, but
no, they're going to block your texts. Like, that's something I've never seen.
Yeah, that is on a whole other level.
Unless you live in Cuba.
Or
China.
Blocking your phone call. Like, if you just couldn't make a phone call because your last phone call, you said some stuff in it.
Redacted.
Well, definitely we should get into that, but let's talk about what's going on in Texas. So we got the story from NBC. They say, with only 80 of 150 House members present Tuesday, the House lacks the necessary 2/3 of legislators to do business. A call of the House motion was called that compels all members to the House to appear in the chamber. Those who do not appear are subject to arrest. The call of the House was approved 76-4, with 4 Democrats in the House chamber voting nay. Following the vote, The doors to the House chamber were locked, preventing anyone else from coming or going.
Oh, wow.
My God.
Yeah, this is no joke. State troopers from the Texas Department of Safety may now be appointed to go look for the missing legislators at their respective businesses and homes.
So they are on the land.
But they'll be unlikely to find any of them since they left the state the day before. Texas law enforcement is unlikely to track the lawmakers to D.C. since they lack jurisdiction in the nation's capital. During an interview on Fox News Monday night, Governor Greg Abbott said, once the Democrats who fled the state return to Texas, they will be arrested and brought back to the Capitol. They're quitters. That is not the way we do things, Abbott said in the television interview. This is fascinating. You know why? The Democrats are claiming we got to get rid of the filibuster. The filibuster is a problem, they say, at the federal level. But this is basically what they're doing.
You can charter a plane and flee. You can become a fugitive and flee your actual duty in Texas. And I mean, this is worse than a filibuster.
It's like
miles.
It's a hardcore filibuster for sure. Like so the way the filibuster basically works in the Senate, if someone says, "Hey, I filibuster," then they need 60 votes to overcome the filibuster. I guess they did that because they didn't like the idea of someone standing up and talking for 30 hours, which just shut down the vote, like it ends the session. And so I guess the Democrats tried things like that. You know, they've delayed the vote, they've skipped out on the vote, and they keep doing this because they've lost Texas. Now, here's the problem, man. You can't function this way. We can't. How is Texas? How is any state? How is the government supposed to function when people are just like, if I don't get what I want, I quit. I'll walk out.
So is this come from like the Oregon Republicans doing this to like fight against whatever it was there? Like
it was climate change.
Yeah, it was like a climate change thing. Did they set the precedent here, and this is just the Democrats that are carrying it on?
No, I think this is just a normal tactic, but it's interesting. You see this, and the core issue here is voting. Like, we're not even talking about policy anymore. This is literally just, I hate you and you hate me, and let's hate each other as much as possible. If they were like, you know, we need a bill that like fixes the roads, and the Democrats were like, but you're not going to fix the roads, right? We argue over policy. Like, that would make sense. Now they're just like, the Democrats are like, we want no security in our election. We want people to just get a ballot sent to a random house.
And if you disagree, you're a racist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So well, that narrative didn't work.
If these people, these Democratic politicians that fled, if they're doing like what their conscience dictates, then I guess they're doing the right thing for them. But should then they be removed from office because they can't functionally participate ethically?
Yes.
But I don't believe they actually think they're doing the right thing. I think it's a virtue signal.
Yeah.
I don't think they genuinely believe that they're saving the day. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, it's campaigning. Their constituents in their blue areas are going to be like, yay, clapping and cheering for it. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to get done. What are they going to do? This is how insane it is. What are they going to do? Stay out of Texas for a year?
I don't know.
Because Abbott said, we will keep calling special sessions until the election. We'll keep doing it. So that means the Democrats from Texas have to have fled the state and they can't return.
What's a special, what'd you call it? A special what?
A special session.
What's that do?
Did I say election? A special session.
Yeah.
Special session.
So the way it works is there's the normal process by which there's a session of the House, like most states and jurisdictions have this. And if the governor chooses, he can convene a special session and call back the state Senate and the state representatives to come in and do their votes and everything. So a lot of states have that system. So Governor Greg Abbott, they're Republicans. Republicans have Texas. So he said, okay, special session it is. And then the Democrats were like, no. And they ran away. Now there's no quorum. Now they can't hold a vote.
So why don't they just treat it as abstentions?
That's a good point. And I think they should. I think I was saying earlier, they should vote on this bill right now. They should put it, someone should draft it up. If you are absent, you know, for at least 3 sessions in a row, you forfeit your position as a representative from your district and you are removed or something like that.
Yeah. You start abstaining. If you maybe you could have someone come in and vote for you. Maybe.
At the very least, send a proxy. But then, why are they getting taxpayer money?
That's a good question.
Imagine you're a taxpayer in Texas, and these people are like, we're getting paid, and they're going and partying on private jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their salary should probably be halted while they're refusing to do their job.
Good point.
For a little while.
Look, I'm all for the civil disobedience, right? But hey, that has consequences.
Well,
you get arrested, you get fined, you get all that stuff.
Where in the private sector would you be able to say, I'm just not coming into work, and not only that, I'm not coming until you give me what I want? It sounds like a union.
And you have to still pay me.
Exactly, so they pay me.
Nowadays, actually, a lot of places in the private
Okay,
sector.
well, I'm old-fashioned, I guess.
Yeah, people do this all the time where they'll be like, I've decided that you're a bigot, so I'm not coming into work for 2 weeks. And the boss goes, okay.
Wow.
Whatever you say.
Diversity training.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there was one of the companies I worked at, who I won't name for this one's a bit specific. There was a woman who threatened retaliation against anybody who told her she had to do work. And so apparently she literally did no work.
What?
And she got paid a ton of money.
But what was the reason?
All the bosses were scared that they would get a harassment complaint. And they were like,
So
that follows
but she
you.
was saying they were sexist or harassing her
Yep.
or what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like,
Wow.
I don't think it was as overt. Like she walked in and said, I will say this about you. But apparently upper management was scared that they knew this woman would do it. And it was implied. So they were just like, here's your salary. You can have whatever you want, do whatever you want. Have a nice day. And she's got paid to do nothing.
Female privilege.
And I remember talking to one
love it.
staff and they were like, this person literally doesn't work here, but is here, just eats food and then gets paid and then leaves. And then I was like, so why are they paying this person? And they were like, because she threatens them. You know, they're scared.
So that's like implied blackmail, which apparently is not a crime. You can, if you're subtle enough about it, you can get away with it.
No, Ian, it's not blackmail to say, I will report you for harassment.
Right, you're just doing your job. You're just
It's-
doing the right thing at that point.
Yeah, so
Even if they're not harassing. Can I say that? I will report you for harassment. In
It's-
parentheses would say, if you actually harassed me,
Right.
but you didn't.
the line is very thin, and it really just depends on whether or not the feds want to go after you or the authorities, whatever in the state. But if you threaten somebody with accusing them of a crime, it could be extortion or blackmail. But depending on how you frame it, then they can't accuse the person of, So the issue is if you're an employee, then in this instance, you don't actually demand anything. You just say, I've had it up to here with this harassment. And you look around, they say, I'm not going near that person. So you get a person who just... Anyway, the Democrats...
This is my problem with the Democrats is the DNC is obviously corrupt. Since I've seen what they did to Bernie Sanders in 2016 and probably so many other things, you see the DNC stuff. But that doesn't mean that every Democrat is culpable, corrupt, or even has bad intentions. Like there's
Yes, it does.
some amazing people that happen to be in the Democratic Party. Like obviously Tulsi Gabbard, I think she was
sure.
incredible.
Is she still there, though?
No, she rolled.
I think it mostly does. I do. Like the Republican
Like it
Party today
trickles
is
down
very,
or
very
something?
different. Like Trump came in and smashed through those doors. Yeah, you had the neocons. A lot of those people fled to the Democratic Party. All right. But I'll put it this way. If look, man, I know the cartels murder tons and tons of people. Doesn't mean every cartel member is a bad person, right?
Well, that's actually a good point.
No.
I
No,
don't think
no.
some people are drafted into that lifestyle kind of against their will, and they don't want to do the damage, and they're kind of forced to, and then eventually get
All
out of
right,
it.
All right. That's
Yeah.
a good point. But I was being facetious a little bit. The Democratic Party is not a cult of actually.
Okay, all right.
Okay, well, the
Yeah.
Democratic Party is bad, but you can always walk away. You choose to be a Democrat. As far as I know, Democrats aren't going to hunt you down for being an apostate to the Democratic Party. But I think the Democratic Party, it's really fascinating to see this meme where people say that the left and the right both view each other as the problem. I saw someone said the left thinks the right is abusing its power and will stop at nothing, and the right thinks the left is doing it. And people need to realize, it's like, hold on a minute. The people who say that are the people who are like sitting back with their feet up watching Police Academy on rerun, like on repeat, not really paying attention to what's going on, looking at the screen and seeing liberals and conservatives fighting. They're going, they just think each other are bad. Well, it's true they do, but one side's objectively right and one side's objectively wrong, and the Democrats are psychopaths. The
Yeah.
Republicans are do-nothings. The Democrats are insane.
What they did to Bernie was basically like made an apostate out of him. It seemed like in 2016, and he just bent over and he just let them just take it to
Such a
him.
disappointment.
Yeah.
Man, why didn't he run independent? I'm
He's
gonna be
scared.
for my whole life. I'll be wondering. 2016, he could have went independent and won that race.
Ian, how
People
many
don't want to admit it.
houses?
He just sold out. He's just a sellout. That's it.
How many houses does Bernie Sanders have?
3?
I think it's 3.
Three?
Right?
3, yeah.
One that's
Yeah.
worth over 1.2 million or something.
Oh, really? Is that much?
I don't
You
know.
sure?
I'm guessing with inflation, maybe.
I think
Let's
he's
find
got
out.
like a townhouse in D.C. for work. He's got his house in Vermont, and he's got a summer home.
Yeah, his wife's parents.
You write a
had it or
book,
something.
you can be a millionaire too.
That's right. You write a book.
Yeah.
So where did Bernie go when the Democrats started going crazy and demanding allegiance? And Bernie, I remember that photo of Bernie in the gym with that really crappy banner. He's like, I'm running for president. And then he runs. He gets really, really popular because people saw him as a populist. And he was. And then he had a meeting with the DNC, and he was like, okay, I'll do whatever you say, Hillary Clinton. And then he endorsed her.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Democratic machine is broken. The neocon Republicans fled to the Democrats, and now they're panicking because there's like the gates to, you know, it reminds me of that battle in Lord of the Rings where the orcs are trying to break into, what is it, Helm's Deep?
Mm-hmm,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what it is. And it's probably a bad analogy because in this instance, the orcs are the good guys breaking down the door. But the point is, the Democrats are in the fortress. And they've crossed the bridge. They've broken the doors down, and now the elites are freaking out because with a lot of the populist Republicans and Trump's popularity, they can't do anything about it. Now, Steve Bannon made a good point. Or no, actually, I don't think it was Steve Bannon, but I can't remember who it was. That populism only goes so far. Was this Darren
I think
Beatty?
it was maybe.
No,
yeah.
that was Darren.
I think it was Darren. Yeah.
Yeah, populism only gets you so much. You can have all of the people on your side, but if you don't have any of the elite factions, you struggle to get anything done.
It's true.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.